Hi everyone. I wanted to continue reading the Heart of Understanding commentary on the Prajnaparamita text by Thich Nhat Hanh. This is a really profound and beneficial text to dive into and investigate and reflect upon, especially in a time like we're facing, full of chaos, crises, uncertainty, lots of unknown. This text, I pray, would give you a sense of ground in the groundlessness, a sense of confidence, trust, and surrender, and courage to face whatever is there to face. So today the reading is called Happy Continuation. Last time we read Long Live Emptiness. And so this is a happy continuation topic. And it goes like this. So here, Shariputra, all dharmas are marked with emptiness. They are neither produced nor destroyed. Sounds familiar? First law of thermodynamics. Energy is neither created nor destroyed. Anybody? So it kind of comes similar to that perspective. So dharmas here mean things. A human being is a dharma, and this is a small d, okay? A tree is a dharma. A cloud is a dharma. The sunshine is a dharma. Everything that can be conceived is a dharma. So when we say all dharmas are marked with emptiness, we are saying everything has emptiness as its own nature. And that is why everything can be. There's a lot of joy in this statement. It means nothing can be born, nothing can die. Avalokiteshvara has said something extremely important. Every day in our life, we see birth and we see death. Even a person is born, a birth certificate is printed for them. After they die, in order to bury them, a death certificate is made. These certificates confirm the existence of birth and death. But Avalokita said, no, there is no birth and death. We have to look more deeply in order to see whether his statement is true. What is the date on which you were born? Your birth date. Before that date, did you already exist? Were you already there before you were born? Let me help you. To be born means from nothing you become something. My question is, before you were born, were you already there? Suppose a hen is about to lay an egg. Before she gives birth, do you think the egg is already there? Yes, of course. It is inside. You also were inside before you were outside. That means that before you were born, you already existed inside your mother. The fact is that if something is already there, it does not need to be born. To be born means from nothing you become something. If you're already something, what is the use of being born? So your so-called birthday is really your continuation day. The next time you celebrate, you can say, Happy Continuation Day. I think that we may have a better concept of when we were born. If you go back 9 months to the time of our conception, we have a better date to put on our birth certificates. In China and also in Vietnam, when you were born, you're already considered 1 year old. And it's true in the Tibetan, the way that we also count. So we say, especially, it's related with the New Year's. So we say we begin to be at the time of our conception in our mother's womb, and we write down that date on our birth certificate. But the question remains, before even that date, did you exist or not? If you say yes, I think you're correct. Before your conception, you were there already, maybe, half in your father, half in your mother. Because from nothing, you can never become something. Can you name one thing that was once a nothing? A cloud? Do you think that a cloud can be born out of nothing? Before becoming a cloud, it was water, maybe flowing as a river. It was not nothing. Do you agree? We cannot conceive the birth of anything. There is only continuation. Please look back even further and you'll see that you not only exist in your father and mother, but you also exist in your grandparents and in your great-grandparents. As I look more deeply, I can see that in a former life I was a cloud. This is not poetry. It is science. Why do I say that in a former life I was a cloud? Because I'm still a cloud. Without the cloud, I cannot be here. I'm the cloud, the river, and the air at this very moment. So I know that in the past I've been a cloud, a river, and the air. And I was a rock. I was a minerals in the water. This is not a question of belief in reincarnation. This is the history of life on earth. We've been gas, sunshine, water, fungi, and plants. I had been single-celled beings. The Buddha said that in one of his former lives, he was a tree, he was a fish, he was a deer. These are not superstitious things. Every one of us has been a cloud, a deer, a bird, a fish, and we continue to be these things, not just in a former life. And people who explore their mind through using, plant medicines or, psychedelics will attest to that. A lot of, in today's time, especially when the forgetfulness is so deep and there's such a need to wake up to interconnectedness. And Buddha's, this is a one path that actually, speaks to the experience, the direct experience of people who explore their minds through these alternative routes of using, chemicals and plant medicines and psilocybins and ayahuasca, the DMTs, peyotes, and mescaline, all of these plants. These are medicinal plants that are here to remember, to help us to remember our place in the cosmos and who we are. And so this kind of, this paragraph, it really if you want to experience that, and if you're ready, if there's a calling, and if you have access to shamans and proper guide to journey you through your own experience, reach out to them. And I have a couple of friends, and I do it myself. And, if you need it, please reach out to us as well. So anyways, the next paragraph. This is not just the case with birth. Nothing can be born, and also nothing can die. This is what Avalokita said. Do you think that a cloud can die? To die means that from something you become nothing. Do you think that we can make something a nothing? Let us go back to a sheet of paper. We may have the illusion that to destroy it all, what we have to do is to light a match and burn it up. But if you burn a sheet of paper, something of it will become smoke. And the smoke will rise and continue to be. The heat that is caused by the burning paper will enter into the cosmos and penetrate other things. Because the heat is the next life of the paper. The ash that is formed will become part of the soil, and the sheet of paper in his or her next life might be a cloud and a rose at the same time. We have to be very careful and attentive in order to realize that this sheet of paper has never been born and it will never die. It can take on other forms of being, but we are not capable of transforming a sheet of paper into nothingness. Wow, no? It's amazing, isn't it? And one of the things that comes is your attention Your attention is like one of the most precious jewel that you have, so precious and so rare. And that's why everybody's trying to get that out of you. Everybody, look at the marketers, look at the politicians, look at your kids, you look at your spouses, look at your parents, look at everything. They're always trying to take, kind of ask for your attention because it's so precious. And you have a choice. How do you want to use this attention? And what do you want to do with it? I want to use my attention to liberate myself of, the confusion and lift the veil up. And hopefully in the process, help, others as we all go together and journey this. So anyways, everything is like that. Even you and I, we are not subject to birth and death. A Zen master might give a student a subject of meditation like, what is your face before your parents were born? This is an invitation to go on a journey in order to recognize yourself. If you do well, you can see your former lives as well as your future lives. Please remember that we're not talking about philosophy. We're talking about reality. Look at your hand and ask yourself, since when has my hand been around? If I look deeply into my hand, I can see it has been around for a long time. More than 300,000 years. I see many generations of ancestors in there, not just in the past, but in the present moment, still alive. I'm only the continuation. I have never died once. If I had died even once, how could my hand still be here? And like that, fear of death is also released. If you can really, really understand and penetrate in this inquiry. The French scientist Lavoisier, I don't know how to pronounce, said, nothing is created and nothing is destroyed. Oh, the thermodynamics law. This is exactly the same as the Heart Sutra. Even the best contemporary scientists cannot reduce something as small as a speck of dust or an electron to nothingness. One form of energy can only become another form of energy. Something can never become nothing, and this includes a speck of dust. Usually we say humans come from dust and we're going back to dust, and this does not sound very joyful. We don't want to return to dust. There is a discrimination here that humans are very valuable and that dust has no value at all. But scientists do not even know what a speck of dust is. It is still a mystery. Imagine one atom of that speck of dust with electrons traveling around its nucleus at 180,000 miles per second. It is very exciting. To return to a speck of dust will be quite an exciting adventure. Sometimes we have the impression that we understand what a speck of dust is. We even pretend that we understand a human being who we say is going to return to dust. Because we live with a person for 20 or 30 years, we have the impression that we know something or we know everything about him or her. So while driving in a car with a person sitting next to us, we think about other things. We aren't interested in him anymore. What arrogance. The person sitting there besides us is really a mystery. We only have the impression that we know her, but we don't know anything yet. And so beautiful, isn't it true? How many times we assume when we have no clue, and then we keep fighting because it brings us to this fact that we know nothing about the other person. So we'll continue the next reading, and I'm here at the 15 minutes limit for the Instagram IGTV.